Welcome to Top 10 Archive. From domestic violence to murder, MMA fighters are definitely not exempt from moments of craziness that lead them to commit such acts. For this installment, we're looking at 10 MMA fighters that simply let loose, disregarding all aspects of human decency and sometimes the law. Number 10. Uraldi, the Albanian assassin. Sure, Uraldi may be one of the few on this list that didn't show his crazy by inflicting pain on an innocent civilian outside of the ring, but his actions during his October 2011 fight with Andy Gray may have us wondering if he needs a bit of a psych eval. While getting pumped up for his fight, Uraldi takes off his shirt and forgets that he's there to take on Gray and not Haynes. Uraldi awkwardly tries to defeat his shirt, and viewers learn that Cotton is much stronger than any MMA fighter on some quirky adrenaline high. Number 9. Kim Couture. Kim Couture is what you'd call an all-around stable individual, should you suddenly forget what such a phrase actually means. As an MMA fighter, Couture is a ball of fire and doesn't pull any punches. As a general human being, well, things aren't really any different. In 2010, Couture was caught in a domestic violence dispute with her assistant when police responded to a call at the fighter's home. Her assistant, who had been living in Couture's home for 3 weeks, allegedly wanted to move out, which sent the level-headed Couture into a rage. Couture's assistant was found with handprints around her neck and additional signs of assault. Number 8. Rico Rodriguez. There are many instances Rico Rodriguez became a bit unhinged, one of many being his arrest in May of 2011 for alleged assault and resisting arrest. Oh, but let us tell you a little story about Rodriguez that may really help put things in perspective. One night, while high on any number of his drugs of choice, Rico and his girlfriend slammed into an 18-wheeler. Since his license was suspended at the time, thanks to a prior DUI, Rico dragged his girlfriend, who was unconscious at the time, and put her in the driver's seat to avoid another arrest. The kicker? As he was dragging his girlfriend to be his cover, he thought she was dead. Number 7. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. Though Crazy Horse may no longer exist in an attempt to better his image, Charles Bennett has a long way to go before his image could ever improve. Bennett's relationship with the law began when he was 17 when he was arrested for aggravated battery. During a period of 10 years after his start in MMA, Bennett was arrested 14 times on charges that included burglary, aggravated battery on a pregnant woman, and sale and possession of cocaine. His latest addition was another aggravated battery in 2013, giving him more batteries than Energizer. Number 6. Jason Mayhem Miller. With a name like Mayhem, is it a surprise that Jason Miller has a bit of a reckless side? Miller found himself on the wrong end of the legal system when he was picked up on suspicion of assaulting a police officer. After standing off with the police for 8 minutes, utilizing ceramic tile and a fire extinguisher to fend off his rivals, Miller was tased. Mayhem's rap sheet goes back to just after his MMA retirement in 2012, when he was found naked inside of a destroyed church. Miller also live-tweeted a 4-hour confrontation with the police when they came to serve him a bench warrant for prior charges. Number 5. Junie Browning. When you go to a hospital and get patched up, the general rule of thumb is that you thank your doctor and nurses and go on your merry way. Junie Browning had taken 16 Klonopin tablets one happy day in Vegas and was rushed to the hospital. When he was able to determine what was happening, he assaulted the nurses taking care of him and exclaimed he would kill and rape their families. Maybe 17 would have been the magic number, In the end, Browning was arrested for his display of gratitude and lost his UFC contract. Number 4. Lightning Lee Murray. Insanity, or little moments of crazy, usually pop up in the form of domestic violence or excessive drug use, but not for Lightning Lee Murray. Murray wanted something more than just a quick thrill. He wanted permanent financial stability, and he was willing to take it if he had to. On February 21, 2006, a Securitas depot in the United Kingdom was the victim of a £53,116,760, or $80,766,689, and behind the massive haul was Old Lightning himself. After fleeing to Morocco, Murray slipped up and was picked up for cocaine possession. Eventually, the trial for the robbery commenced and Murray found himself sentenced to 10 years, which turned to 25 after prosecutors appealed against the leniency of his sentence. Number 3. Jeremy Jackson. Jeremy Jackson had a good thing going after he appeared on Season 4 of The Ultimate Fighter. But some good things must come to an end, especially if the receiver of said good things decides to rape two individuals. In 2008, Jackson was arrested on 2 counts of forcible rape and 3 additional charges that came up during his arraignment. Those charges included 2 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of sex crimes. In 2010, Jackson became clean and pled guilty to raping his ex-girlfriend during an attempt at robbing her and was slapped with a 25 to life sentence. Number 2. Jonathan War Machine Copenhaver. While it may seem difficult to stay out of jail, it's actually quite easy. For one, it's always best not to brutally beat your ex-girlfriend to an inch of her life. War Machine apparently didn't understand this concept when he broke into the home of his ex-fling, Christy McInday, and broke her nose, fractured her orbital bone, knocked out 2 of her teeth, and lacerated her liver. Additionally, War Machine turned his attention to McInday's male friend, Corey Thomas, and delivered a fair amount of damage. During an earlier sentence in 2010, War Machine kept the insanity going via a blog that was kept up by his friend via handwritten notes. Number 1. Joseph Hyunman's son. Though he already had a record of torture and additional sexual offenses, Sun degraded himself even further with the rape of a woman on Christmas Eve in 1990. Sun and Santiago Lopez Gayton forced the woman into their vehicle and proceeded to rape her. The victim survived the ordeal with emotional scars and years of trauma, and Sun and Gayton were convicted, with Sun receiving life in prison with the possibility of parole. Ironically, after his conviction, Sun shared a cell with sex offender Michael Thomas Graham, though they were far from friends. On October 10, 2011, Sun beat Graham to death, an act that would remove his possibility for parole. Do you remember hearing about any of these incidents? Do you have an idea for a future Top 10 video? Let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our website, top10archive.net. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your family and friends.